Hello, I'm Lou Thurston, Public Information Officer for the Newport News Police Department. Coming up on this edition of Behind the Badge, we sit down with Chief James Fox as he reflects on his 9 years of leadership in the Newport News Police Department. Hello, welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm Lou Thurston, Public Information Officer for the Newport News Police Department. As you know, Chief Fox will be retiring from the department September 1st. So today we want to reflect for a little while on his past 9 years leading this great police department. Can you maybe share with us some of your feelings, if you will, about your pending retirement?
Well, I'm excited about retirement, a little bit scared because I know that I'm going to have to learn to relax, which this job doesn't let you relax a lot. But I'm also a little sad. You know, this has been a great job, a great department, and I'm going to miss it.
I'm sure we're gonna miss you around here as well as the community is going to miss seeing the chief out and about, which you're pretty much really noted for. Do you have any plans for retirement set out yet, or?
Well, my only plans would be I might do some consulting. You know, I've been in this business for a long time. As chief, I've had to deal with quite a bit of everything. Mm-hmm. And if I can share that with some other chiefs or other departments that are in need of help, I'll be glad to do that. But I really I'm not leaving with an agenda that I'm going to go here or do this. I'm kind of looking forward to spending time with my wife. And, you know, we're great buddies, and I look forward to that. We like to do the same things, and I probably will play more golf than I've ever played in my life, but no real plans.
That's good. I think maybe too many people do have a structured retirement, and when you can step into retirement and, like you say, enjoy your family, golf with your wife, things that you just wanted to do and couldn't, it's going to help you relax, I think. Under your leadership, the department has accomplished a tremendous amount. Can you share with the viewers some of those things that you are probably the most proud of that the department has accomplished?
Well, one thing that I'm surely proud of is succession planning. I leave the department in good shape. We're deep in talent in this police department. We prepared the organization to move on under the leadership of anybody that becomes chief. I hope the next chief comes from within the organization, because I've surely worked hard to mentor the people within the organization to take it to the next step when I leave. I've been very proud of creating our own training academy, and because that was one of my goals coming in. You know, you hire the right people, you train them the right way, you mentor them, you prepare them for the future, you prepare the organization for the future. I'm proud of the technology that we've been able to buy and put in place in the organization. There was an article this morning in the paper about body cameras, and we're probably one of very few across the nation that are going to be experimenting with that, and we're really not experimenting now, we're implementing that. I'm proud of what we've done to move forward to a real-time crime center. I'm very proud of the organization in accomplishing reducing crime for many years, and to reduce it the way we have is pretty significant in our city. I'm so proud of this police department. It's got great people. They have worked hard under my leadership, and this organization will continue to be a leader for many other organizations to look at. I'm proud of our foundation as well. The foundation is going to help us achieve things that we weren't able to achieve with just the money that we get from the city. So I'm excited about leaving the organization in good hands, and I'm excited about watching it grow in the future.
Great. You mentioned our own police academy. Why, if you could explain, is it so important? And being in law enforcement a long time myself, I understand why, but maybe we can explain to the viewers a little bit about why it's so important to train, and there's no easy way to say, train our officers and our people in how to police in Newport News.
Well, when I came to the organization, we sent our people to a regional academy, and there was nothing wrong with the regional academy, but we weren't able to tailor the training around the needs of our community. You know, every city has its own things that it needs to do. We're a diverse city. We are unique. We've got the richest of the richest and the poorest of the poorest. We've got the smartest in the world, and we have people that are uneducated. We have a lot of mental health issues in our city. So by having our own academy, we can train to prepare our officers to deal with those issues that they're going to be faced in our community. It's officer safety. You know, we take many guns off of people in a city like this, so officer safety is a critical area. So by doing our own training, I think we're meeting the needs of what our people are going to need to have when they hit the street, and then they can hit the street ready to police our own city.
And it probably saves time and maybe even some money by only having to do it once. Because if you go to say a regional academy, which like you say, there's nothing wrong with that, but then when you come back to your department, you kind of have to take that training a few more steps. And it takes time.
Our training is longer than most academies, but I see training as an investment. We're preparing our people to deal with the
Right.
issues of the future. So that was one of probably the highlights of my career. I remember when I brought a captain and a sergeant to my office. This was probably the first year that I was here, and I said, so we're going to start our own academy, and this is when I want it done. And they said, we don't think we can achieve that. I says, I didn't ask you that question. I told you we were going to accomplish it, and this is our time period. Let's get it done. And we got it done, and it's excellent. And we got excellent instructors at our academy, and I'm very proud of what we're doing in training our officers.
I know when you came here, this building was kind of on the drawing board, if you will. And I know there were some things that were not going to happen or not going to be provided in the building. And that changed under your leadership. So tell us a little bit about your feelings about the building. I mean, our home. This police department has, until this building, never had its own home.
Well, when I got here, I found that the plans for the building of a new police headquarters were out there. So I did a little seed planning and maneuvering with the mayor and the city manager to kind of bring it up on the list of capital improvements because I knew that we had never had our own building, our own police headquarters. Actually, when we worked downtown, I didn't know every floor we had people working on. So I surely couldn't walk and talk like I like to do. So we designed this building to make it open, to making it feel good. And you walk in our lobby, our lobby has a presence. And it makes you feel comfortable. And it makes you very proud of this police department. And actually, it's a question that I use when I ask people that want to work with us. I interview every single person that has worked for me in this department over the last 9 years. And I ask them a question. When you first walked into the lobby of our headquarters, how did that lobby make you feel? And I get all types of response. But we've got a woman that sits at our front desk that is known to me as the vice president of First Impression. She can make anybody smile. So if a person comes in with a problem, she's going to make that person happy before they leave. And you know, our lobby is such a welcoming place for people to come into. And this is not our building. This is the community's building. And I think Newport News is and the people in Newport News are very proud of this building, and that's what I wanted it to be. And it's this building stands head and shoulders above the crowd as well.
I think probably everyone that works for the police department realizes that you're not the type of chief that is going to come in, sit behind the desk, go home at 5 o'clock. You are out in the community. You are out at certain situations. You will show up not to take over and supervise an investigation, but to be there to support those that are doing the investigation, the community that is affected by what has happened. And I've personally seen that on many occasions. So you have this reputation of being out and about, not necessarily doing traffic stops or taking care of business in that way, but you are out in the community, and it's not beyond you to stop and assist an officer on anything that may have happened. Can you reflect just shortly on that?
Well, I think it's critical for a chief to be visible. People want to see the chief. I can walk down the street in uniform or out of uniform, and people know who I am. I have no idea who the person is, but they know I'm the chief of police. I can go in a restaurant, and people know that I'm chief of police. I was catching a plane in Norfolk just last week, and a person came up to me, well, two separate people says, "Good morning, Chief, how you doing?" I had no idea who they were, but they knew who the chief is, and that's critical. You know, I didn't realize until I became chief in this city, the chief of police is a big deal for the people of this city. Obviously, they're very proud of whoever is representing them. And you have to realize, as the chief, you're representing the people. The two most visible people in a city normally are the chief of police and the mayor. And yes, surely I had enough paper and things to sign behind the desk, but I worked a lot of weekends because I wanted to know what the officer was experiencing. I wanted to know if there were issues that officer was having. I wanted to know what those issues were because I wanted to deal with them. That officer on the street is the most important thing that we have. So if we had issues with cars, that was an issue for the chief to deal with. So I wanted to know what was going on. I know when I first came here, I would arrive on scenes and totally shock people because they weren't used to seeing command level people. And now I moved this down. I expected captains to be visible. I expected the assistant chiefs to be visible. But as chief, I had to set the example. And if I needed to be somewhere, I was there. And in retiring, that's one of the things I won't miss, 80-hour weeks, because this is a very demanding job. You can never relax in this job because anything can happen in a city like ours. But it's been fun. It's been rewarding. I've learned a lot. It's probably made me a better person as a leader. But I'm looking forward to a retirement. I'm looking forward to hearing about all the great things that's going to happen after I leave.
And speaking along, sort of along those lines, and I know you're very proud of this, and that's the CALEA accreditation in all 3 categories.
Well, that gave me a little white hair. I didn't think we would ever get it accomplished. And in some areas, it took longer than I was pleased with, but we are accredited. We call it the Triple Crown, really. We have it in 3 different areas. We're one of 8 in all of CALEA, which is international, that have all three, and that's in communication, that's our training academy, and that's our law enforcement. I'm very proud of that.
And like I say, that did not come easy.
It came with a lot of work. It came with a lot of work, and you know, just in December of this year, we will have assessors here. We're on that 3-year cycle. They will come here to evaluate us to see if we're doing what we say we're doing, and in that 3-year period, we would have to do all types of audits, inspections, etc. So it makes us the best of the best.
Chief, you've also quite often over your tenure here spoke about transparency, openness, it is what it is, tell it like it is, and worked very closely through the Public Information Office with the media. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe your experiences there?
Trust is number one on our list of leadership words. And surely as the chief, you have to set the example. I'm always on stage. My microphone is always on. Everything I do, people watch. And trust is critical. And you know, a lot of people today don't trust government, and we're part of government. But if I'm going to be a chief or a leader in government, in the community, I want people to trust me. And if they trust me, they will trust my officers and the department. So being upfront, even at the bad days, if you're upfront, you will survive the incident. I call it, you know, having a trust account. You know, police work is a very unique job. In a split second, our officers have to make decisions, and they don't always come out the way we want it to come out. Mistakes can take place. Anything can go wrong in this business. But when it goes wrong, you deal with it. You know, I can't change what it is. And so after a shooting, I know the media is going to be wanting to know from the chief what's going on. I'll sit down with them, or I have sat down with them and told them what I could, because I have to worry about lawsuits. And we have lawsuits pending now that we have to deal with. So there are certain things that my lawyers will tell me I can say and I can't say, but I want the public to know what's going on, because when you don't tell them what's going on, they make their own story. And that's where the trust starts happening.
Exactly, and with that trust with the media, I think we are able as an agency to get our message out and to explain and have the community understand and believe the explanations.
Well, I've been in policing for 40 years, and in my younger years, the police were here and the community was over here. And for many years, the police were here and the media was over here. I look at your office, the Public Information Office, as our Office of Communications, and communicating what's going on, selling and marketing what we're doing, and then being open to the public, build support. And you know, we use the media to help us in solving crimes. So why, you know, it doesn't make good business sense or good sense at all for the chief to have an adversary relationship with the media. And they're supplying the community with information that maybe I want the community to have it. So, you know, not using the media, but having the media as part of our team, that's the way to go. And every chance that, you know, you'd come to me and you would say that somebody wants an interview, if my schedule allowed it, I would do it. So I didn't hide behind doors when when we had bad days. I'd come out of the door, in front of the door, and we'd talk our way through it.
It was very refreshing working with you with the media because of that very thing, that you will make time for the media. Especially with a newspaper reporter, you can just, a lot of times you can talk to them over the phone. Television is a little bit different story, but you would always make that few minutes to talk to them. And it goes so far in maintaining and building those relationships that are so important. maybe to kind of wrap things up a little bit, what would you say, what would you consider as your legacy as you leave?
You know, I'm leaving an organization in good shape. Hopefully by the troops, I've been a police chief that still realized that the troops are extremely important. Hopefully I've prepared others to lead and become leaders. The legacy of building the academy, bringing the technology, taking this agency from being a good agency to a great agency.
Chief, would you have any advice for the next chief that steps up?
Well, surely I have sat down with all of my assistants who I know will compete to be the next chief, and I think all three of them are very capable of being a chief here in our city. But my advice to them would be continue to work hard to reduce crime, and I know that at any given weekend anything can go wrong, but continue to work hard to reduce crime. Get out and about in the community and let the people see you. Be open. Have a great relationship with the media. Be loyal to the citizens of this city and work hard for them to make this a great city. You know, we have a great city here, and it has so much potential. So hopefully the new leadership replacing me will continue to do some of those things, but I would also advise them, be yourself.
I remember when you first came here, one of your goals that you told the command staff was the police department is going to be a great police department. And I think you just said it, that has happened. I know from my standpoint, from across the country, you hear good things about this department, not just public information and media relations, crime line, but the department as a whole. And I'm proud to walk somewhere or walk out somewhere amongst other police agencies and hear what they say about this department.
People don't realize what they have here. We have an excellent police department. I can go anywhere in the world and people know Newport News Police. And that's not because of me, it's because of our people and the job that they do. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our community leaders and the people that live in our city, and thank them for supporting us, because without the community's support, we can't be great. And we're great because we have a community that's behind us, that helps us in solving crime, that helps us in doing what we need to do, and they're part of our team. So to all of you listeners out there, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Because you're surely a part of our team. You know, Lou, you've heard me use these words: trust, communications, teamwork, care, and vision. And they're actually on the seal that's over your shoulder there, next to my giraffe, because we stand head and shoulders above the crowd. But they got to trust us, they have to communicate with us, and if they do those, we've got a strong team. And we have a strong team here in Newport News, and that's your police team. So thank you, Newport News, for allowing me to be your chief.
Chief, thanks for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule. I know it is busy, even though you're kind of winding down here. Thank you again. Thank you for your leadership and your expertise to the city. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to the special Behind the Badge. And thank you for supporting the Newport News Police Department.
Well, it's a pleasure to have all of you here tonight, honoring our dear friend and Police Chief Jim Fox, and his family is here. Paula, good to see you again. You know, Jim has spent a lot of years here making our city a better and safer place to live, and he has decided to retire and move on in his life, and I, for one, respect that. I think those decisions are important life decisions.
Jim came to us with many years of police experience, and he has been a trusted advisor and willingly sharing his knowledge and expertise. You know, he's worked tirelessly to keep the Newport News Department head and shoulders above the crowd. You know, after working with 4 managers and 2 mayors, I think it's certainly time for him, and he deserves an opportunity to relax. You know, since he became chief of Newport News Police Department, crime has dropped, and the career criminals are off the street. He has developed leaders and inspired his officers to reach where others cannot, to have great vision, to listen, and to be tireless, and to understand that each citizen and situation is different.
Much has happened in this community and indeed all around the world during the time that you were Newport News chief. But one thing has been a constant, and it's been mentioned by others, and that is there was never any doubt that Jim held himself and others to the highest standards of honor and integrity. He lived by the motto, which city managers certainly appreciate, that if you can't trust your chief of police, who can you trust? And indeed, despite inevitable incidents and controversies, none of us had ever had any reason to doubt Jim's word.
Chief Fox, you brought several words with you when you came to Newport News, and I want to talk briefly about 2 of those. They are passion and commitment. I go back 6 chiefs, which is as far back as any current member of the Newport News Police Department goes. In all of my years and all of those chiefs, I have never seen the equal to James D. Fox. His passion and commitment to this community, to this department, and to this profession is without challenge. He spent every waking minute and most of his sleeping minutes thinking about this police department. The city got its money's worth when they hired Chief Fox, because they truly got a 24/7 chief.
So Jim, on behalf of a grateful community, we thank you. We have learned to admire you and respect you. We wish you God's blessing as you face your next chapter in your life. I hope it will be a lot less stressful, but not less rewarding, a lot more fun than it's been for a lot of years. I know that Paula is a happy camper, as they say. You'll have much to look forward to. And you have a lot to look back on. And as you do, to enjoy the success that you've had, the contribution you've made to this community. And truly, I think without equivocation, we can all say that you have done your job superbly, and you have indeed left this place a better place for your presence. And we thank you.